Congratulations to Peyton W., who won our last drawing raffle and got to pick the topic of our next How to Draw video. Peyton requested some butterflies in the spring air, so let's get started. We are going to draw two butterflies, a front view and a side view. First, let's draw the butterfly from the front. I'm going to begin by making a stencil for my butterfly. Since butterflies are symmetrical or the same on both sides, I can fold a piece of paper in half and then draw just one side of my butterfly. Once I have a design that I like, I can simply cut out my stencil and I will have a butterfly that is the same on both the left and the right side. I just find this a lot easier than constantly drawing and measuring, trying to make my butterfly the same on both sides, using just my eyes as a guide. Now I'll simply hold my butterfly down with one hand and trace with my other, making sure to use light lines in case I need to erase. Now I have an outline of the basic shape for my butterfly, and it's time to start adding those details that really bring my picture to life. Even though I'm drawing more of a cartoon butterfly, I nonetheless looked at some actual photographs for reference. This helps me capture all the actual unique shapes, curves, and lines that are present in butterflies. For example, here I'm making sure that my butterfly's body begins to taper or get a little bit thinner along either end. I can then move on to drawing the beautiful patterns inside my butterfly's wings. We don't have a stencil for this part, so we'll have to do our best to eyeball, making sure that each side is the same or symmetrical. A small trick to help you with this is to make sure that once you draw something on one side, you go ahead and hop over to the other side to repeat the exact same steps. This keeps our brains from forgetting what our hands have already done. I'm going to continue adding lots of details along the insides of my butterfly's wings. You could choose to either follow along with me, look at some pictures of real-life butterflies to create your own pattern, or come up with something entirely your own. It's completely up to you. Just remember, we will be going back over our lines with Sharpie and erasing, so make sure to draw light until you've got it right. Let's continue watching this sped-up version of me drawing the details on my butterfly. Feel free to pause anytime if you need to catch up. As you can see, I'm constantly eyeballing, measuring, erasing, and redoing to make sure that I have my designs symmetrical and exactly the way I'd like them. We're often tempted to think that real artists don't erase. That's not true. They erase all the time, working and working until they have something exactly how they'd like it. And even then, no art is perfect, and that's okay. If you look at pictures of real-life butterflies, you will notice that many have little dots along the edge of their wings. I'm going to add some here. I'm counting to make sure that I have the same number of dots on both sides. I love these dots on butterflies because I think in the sunlight it almost makes them look sparkly. Now that we have the front view of our first butterfly complete, let's draw our next one from the side. If I drew my butterfly so that its front wing completely concealed the back wing, that would be called in profile. However, I'm going to show just a smidge of the back wing too. This means that my butterfly is turned at a slight angle. Artists then called this viewpoint the 3/4 view. Let's add that second wing, making our butterfly go from being viewed in profile to the 3/4 view. The 3/4 view is generally regarded as the trickiest position to draw from in art. With that being said, I'm glad that I drew light, because I was able to erase quite a few times until I had exactly what I needed. Notice how even though my butterfly is now turned to the side, I'm still trying to create the same designs on both wings. My back wings are mostly hidden by the front wings, but some parts are still peeking out. Now that I have my design just the way I'd like, it's time to go over my pencil lines with Sharpie. I'm not filling in my front butterfly's entire body with Sharpie. Instead, I'm leaving a little highlight on one side, which helps it look three-dimensional. It's perfectly okay if you don't have a Sharpie. You could always use a regular pen to outline your lines, or just go for it with your color. Even if all you have is a regular drawing pencil, that's okay too. You could continue following along with me, but instead of using Sharpie and colored pencil, you could practice shading and blending with your regular graphite pencil. Remember, anybody who completes a how-to draw a butterfly drawing along with me and then sends me their work via email will be entered into our random raffle to pick the next topic of a future How to Draw video. I loved seeing everybody's Sleepy Sloth drawing from our last How to Draw. And I'll be sure to feature your completed butterflies in future videos if you send them to me. To finish off my first butterfly, I am going to draw his teeny tiny little antennas with a much smaller tipped pen. We know that varying our line weight can make our artwork look more interesting. I not only varied my line weight in drawing the antennas, but also in making the veins of the pattern inside my butterfly's wings. Now let's repeat those same steps in drawing our second butterfly. Then we'll be ready to color. To help differentiate my butterfly's black portions of the wings, I'm going to add a little bit of white highlight with a white colored pencil. This helps to separate my space. We know that highlights occur on any object that exists in space because light hits it from a certain direction. Since I'm drawing on the right side of my butterfly's wings, I can know that my light source is coming from that area. Now it's time to begin adding some color. I chose green, yellow, and blue as the main colors for this composition. Now, you could leave your butterfly colored with just a single color, or you could choose to blend and shade, which I think makes the piece look much more special. I chose a light, medium, and dark green to create different values in my butterfly's wings. To add even a little bit more extra interest, I went back with a really dark blue for a shadow and a bright yellow for a highlight. You can see my pencils here. Now that I have my color scheme chosen for my first butterfly, I'm going to simply repeat these steps in each individual section. It takes a while, but I think the end result is worth it. My green butterfly almost looked like he was glowing when he was done. Now with my video set to super speed mode, I'm going to do those same steps to my top butterfly. I'm using yellow, orange, light red, and dark red to make his wings really pop. I also used those same colors to add a bit of shadow to the polka dots around his wings. Now that both butterflies are finished, I'm going to work on my sky. Using various values or lightnesses and darknesses of blues will make my sky look more visually interesting. Notice how I'm keeping my colored pencil in a horizontal position. This helps my mark making look consistent and neat. Let's speed up the video as I gradually work to build up the color of my sky. Here we're back to super speed mode. Trust me though, this took a while. And the sky is complete. Now, all that's left for me to do is sign or initial the bottom of my work and provide a date. I usually stick to just my initials and then the year, so KMT 2020. And we're done. Don't forget to email me your own butterfly drawings if you want to be entered into our upcoming raffle to choose the topic of our next How to Draw video. Talk to y'all soon. Bye!